I wake up in a dormer that smells of 1899 coal smoke and 2023 instant noodles gone cold, the wallpaper peeling like old love letters. I am 17, an heiress to nothing but my own glittering expectations, and I have come to the Sheffield College, Sheffield, because the brochure promised me runways and dark rooms and lecture halls that echo like cathedrals. Instead, the corridor lights hum in minor chords, the sort of sound that makes your heart forget its rhythm. And I already know, in the marrow, that this place is going to eat my dreams like stale biscuits. First morning, I glide because that is what silk-lined slippers dot toward the fashion studio. The door handle is sticky, not artistically sticky with pearlescent glue, but the sinister sticky of 1,000 unwashed palms. Inside, the air is thick as treacle, laced with the sour whiff of acrylic paint gone off and the metallic tang of rusted sewing machines. There are 22 stations, yet only 9 chairs, 3 of which have wheels that scream when you shift. No tutor arrives. We wait 43 minutes. 43 minutes is long enough to memorize every crack in the line, long enough to feel your future sliding into those cracks. When someone finally appears, it is a substitute who confesses, whisper soft. Ivy never threaded an overlocker in my life. Lovelies. She says lovelies the way undertakers say departed. I explain because I am polite, because I was raised on please, and thank you and hand embroidered tablecloths that we need guidance on drape, on grain line, on how to coax cloth into desire. She blinks, opens YouTube, types how to sew, and leaves us to the buffering spiral. That is the moment my heart first rips, not with drama, but with the tiny ping of a snapped needle. A snapped needle can ruin an entire seam, and nobody here even flinches. They tell us we must book rooms ourselves. I skip eyes, literally skip, because hope is a skipping motion toward student services. The queue is 27 bodies long, each clutching forms like prayer books. When my turn comes the receptionist, whose name badge says K, they them, but whose eyes say I died inside in 2014, informs me there is no budget for rooms. Budget, they repeat, as though it were a sacred rune I should understand. I tilt my head the way my governess taught me to tilt when requesting extra sugar. But where, dear soul, are we to stitch? They shrug, the shrug of a person who has shrugged so often their collarbones now click. Try the library. The library, darling audience, is 3 flights down, smells of wet cardboard, and contains exactly 1 sewing machine from 1997. Its pedal frayed like an old cattail. I want to cry. But tears are expensive when your body is 70% Evian. So we squat on hallway floors, cross-legged on polyester carpet that burns the backs of knees. Every time a lecturer strides past, we flinch, hoping for crumbs of knowledge. Instead, we receive the gust of their hurry, perfume of instant coffee and existential dread. I start talking to the fibers, asking them if they know what a French seam is. The fibers do not answer. They only cling to my tights like broken promises. Week 4. Still no permanent tutor. We are advisetti, kid you not. Gentle Virto ask chat for feedback. Chat, that electronic Ouija board, cannot feel fabric, cannot tell you that your silk is puckering, because your tension is tighter than your chest on exam morning. I type, "Dear robot, is my toile balanced?" It replies, "Consider the drape." Consider the drape is the fashion equivalent of "Have you tried yoga?" I laugh, but the laugh comes out like a cough, and the girl beside me, her name is Lottie. She smells of strawberry lip balm and Firbigens.
I've been looking into what happens round the Sheffield College, Sheffield, and the shops here are the kind that smile at your camera 1 second and bite your card the next. First thing, the phone shops near the Sheffield College, Sheffield. They feel safe because they ray inside that shiny Meadowhall corridor, all glass and mal music, but really they ray like open candy for anyone with stolen data. One day a bloke walked into Carphone warehouse, told the assistant he was upgrading, and gave a perfect copy of somebody's hacked bill, you know, the stuff we all leave on Gmail. Staff swiped the contract, handed him 2 new iPhones. He strolled out, probably sold them online before the victim even got the "welcome to your new plan" text. I bet the tourist may be here for the snooker, staying 10 days, just kept sightseeing, thinking the payment glitch would sort itself, then flew home and landed to a 4-figure bill and a credit score that looked like my last maths grade. Police, they filled forms, the scammer most likely switched names and did it again, the prediction cycle keeps spinning. Second vibe, the little fashion boutiques tucked on Fargate, 5 minutes walk from the Sheffield College, Sheffield. They look Indian kind, but they ray targets too. Same fraud team printed fancy purchase orders, pretended to be wholesale buyers, took bags of stock on approval, vanished. Shop owners thought big sale, ended up with empty rails and a hole big enough to pay 3 rents. If you ray a visitor popping in for a cute Sheffield hoodie, you 1T notice. But next season the shelf is bare, prices jump, and your souvenir costs extra because someone else's greed bill got passed to you, dose and tea that just make your ice cream taste sour. So yeah, around the Sheffield College, Sheffield, stores shine bright, but their card machines sometimes have bigger dreams than the customers, and short trip folks leave with lighter wallets and heavier size.
Now we look at the businesses that sit just a short walk from the Sheffield College, Sheffield. What you will find is a pattern that repeats itself across many different types of places. In this part of the city, the common thread is disappointment hidden behind bright signs and friendly smiles. Retail and entertainment venues near the college all seem to love a good fine. Parking spaces that promise a safe spot for families turn into traps that hand out costly tickets without warning. A shopper who spent years visiting the large shopping center discovered that a child parking bay can disappear the moment you look at the sign, leaving a £100 charge on the windscreen. Security staff behave more like club bouncers than helpful guides, turning a simple exit into a standoff. Even the toilets become a game of hide and seek because the signs point nowhere and the doors are locked behind a wall of confusion. The tiny beauty salon that hides behind a quiet street shows the same lack of care. A single negative experience is enough to hint that the promise of pampering can quickly dissolve into an empty chair. Animal cafes in the neighborhood share a sad story. Cat cafes that promise a cozy hug with furry friends end up looking like a stress test for the animals. Visitors describe cats huddling in corners, leaving paw prints on the floor, and even leaving small accidents that are never cleaned up. Staff appear friendly at the counter, but then turn cold, shooing away anyone who questions the treatment of the cats. The promised happy home for the felines feels more like a circus act, with collars being forced on reluctant cats and customers being asked to leave when they try to protect the animals. Coffee spots that market themselves as hip and modern reveal a different reality. Cafes that advertise delicious brunches often serve dishes that look nothing like the menu picture, such as a bowl of white liquid called Turkish eggs that tastes like plain milk with floating seeds. Orders are forgotten, tables left untouched for half an hour, and staff seem to disappear whenever a customer raises a